Hello and welcome to the 8th Java programming video. In this video I am going to introduce you to classes and objects. Basically we're going to create our own class and initialize it with variables and methods. I've already gone ahead and set up the basic stuff. For example, creating a class that will actually run the program, as we have done before. So I'm going to go ahead and create our own class once again. Then I'm going to create a person class. Basically this person would represent a real person in a real life, so for example we're going to need his name and his age. Just going to go ahead and create it, and this is what we have now. Now since we need to give the person an age and a name, we need at least two variables. So for example private string name, which will be the person's name, and private int age. Now the reason to why I'm typing private before is because we usually want to have the variables inside of a class to be private, which basically means you can't really access them directly from other classes. For example, if I were to create a person object out of our person class, something like this, person1 equals to new person, I would not be able to retrieve the variable name or age, but if I were to change, for example, the age to public, we would be able to access it directly, as you can see over here. We're going to go ahead to initialize the variables as private. Now we're going to create a constructor. Basically a constructor is something that happens when you create an object. So for example, this is how we create a constructor. We type public and then the name of the class, parentheses, and then the brackets. So basically everything we type inside of here would actually happen when we create our person. Now you can go ahead and type in parameters. For example, we're going to take the values as string and an integer, which is going to be the age. And now we will actually get an error when we create our person object, because we changed our constructor, and that means that we also need to change the parameters when we create it. So whenever we create a person object, we actually need to specify these two values, which is a name and an age, which is a string and an int. So the string is going to represent the name, and it's going to be, let's say, Jack, and this age is going to be 24. Now at the moment nothing will really happen because we don't do anything with these values. And we're going to change that now. We're going to set the name of our person class or person object to whatever name we typed in inside of the parentheses. We're going to set the name to whatever we decided to set it to when we created the object, which is Jack. And then the age also. Now we could go ahead and change these values to, for example, something like number, and it would still work as long as you change this.age into whatever we type in there. It doesn't have to have the same name as your class variables, for example age and name, but we're going to leave it like that for now. Now usually when you want to retrieve information from a class, you can create methods that will return values of the variables inside of the person. So since we can't access these variables directly, and we might want to retrieve the name of our person object, we need to create a method that will return the name. And we have done that before. You type in public, so another class can actually access it. And then the type that we will return, which is going to be a string, and then get name. Basically whenever you return a value from a class, it is usually named get and then the name of the variable, for example get name or get age. And then we're going to return this dot name. Basically this refers to this class or this object. You could just leave it like name, you don't actually need to refer to this. You actually only need to do that over here when you have a parameter that is named the same as your variable. Then you need to refer to your class's, your object's variable, and set it to whatever we typed out, which is name. And we're also going to return an int, get age, return age. So we're now going to try and type out the name of our person, and we could simply just do this person1 dot get name over there, and it will actually return a string that we're going to type out with the command system out println. As you can see, it types out Jack, and we could also change it to get age, and it's 24. Usually when you want to access information quickly about what the person object contains or something like that, or information about the object, you usually create a method that is called public string to string. Actually, all of your objects inherits this method, so whatever object you create have a toString method. But by creating it ourselves, we can actually change how it works. Usually it would return, we can actually see what it will return if we don't create it ourselves. So just going to go ahead and copy this, and then person1 dot toString, and it will return something like video8 dot person, and then I think it's the place in your memory where it's stored or something like that. So basically usually it types out the package name and then the name of the class and where it is in your memory. But by creating a toString method ourselves, we can actually make it return more information about an object. So for example, we're going to type out something like name of person, and then we're going to type out this name, and then we're going to get a new line and type out the age plus this age, and we're going to try and call it now once again. Name of the person is Jack and age is 24. And we're going to talk more about the toString method and how it works in the next video, so you don't really have to worry about this for now. So basically this is how we create an object. You create a new class and then you initialize variables and methods and constructors to make it work however you want it to. This is just a basic example. If you want to do some exercises, I suggest that you take a look at ordinary objects in the real world and you think of whatever information it can contain. For example, if you see a car, you might think what it contains. For example, it has an engine or something like that, a model number, whatever you can think of, and try and create a class around it and just type out information about it. So yeah, that was pretty much all for this video. Thank you a lot for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and give the videos a thumbs up, and maybe even share the videos. It would really help a lot. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Hopefully I will see you then, and bye bye.